Hate in the Counter-Transference, Winnicott, 1949. Part 1. The Big Picture. Winnicott did something brave in 1949. He told the truth about hate in therapy. He said that when we sit with patients, especially those who are deeply ill, we don't just feel love and compassion. We also feel frustration, fear, and yes, sometimes hate. And pretending otherwise doesn't make us better therapists, it makes us less effective. His radical idea was that acknowledging our hate isn't a sign of failure, but an essential part of the work. Patients, especially psychotic patients, need to know that the therapist can bear their hate and that love isn't erased by it. Just as a baby can only truly believe in a mother's love after sensing she can also hate and survive it, so too can patients only trust in love once hate is on the table. When Winnicott talks about a psychotic patient, he's pointing to someone whose emotional life feels very raw, fragile, and hard to manage. It's less about a diagnostic label and more about a kind of inner experience. A psychotic patient, for Winnicott, represents someone whose emotional world has been shaken at the foundations. They're not just anxious or conflicted, like neurotic patients. They're struggling with the very sense that the world and relationships can be stable, safe, and real. Part 2. Core Ideas. 1. Owning our hate. Winnicott insisted that therapy with psychotic patients is impossible unless the therapist has sorted out their own hate. You can't manage what you don't admit. And the more honest we are about those feelings, the less they secretly drive what we do. 2. Rethinking countertransference. He broke countertransference into 3 forms. Abnormal, old, unresolved stuff the analyst hasn't worked through. Personal, the unique life experience that shapes how each analyst works. Objective, justified, real-time reactions to a patient's behavior, love, and hate included. That third category, objective countertransference, is the game changer. It says that sometimes our feelings of hate are not pathological, but true responses that, when handled responsibly, help the patient heal. 3. The patient's lens. Patients, especially psychotics, live in a raw state where love and hate collide. They assume we can feel that same collision. If we deny our hate, they can't trust our love. Being forewarned that the patient will project crude, dangerous feelings into us means being unguarded. Denying it just keeps both of us stuck. 4. The power of objective hate. Sometimes, what heals is not just patience or interpretation. It's the moment the analyst can acknowledge, carefully and at the right time, yes, you were repellent to me. Yes, you made me feel hate. And I still stayed. For the patient, this is reality testing. If hate can exist and not destroy the relationship, then love can be trusted too. 5. The mother analogy. One of Winnicott's boldest moves was to say, mothers hate their babies before their babies can hate them. Not in the dramatic, abusive sense, but in the real, everyday ways babies exhaust, frustrate, and hurt their mothers. What makes mothering remarkable is the ability to hate and still not retaliate, to keep showing up with care. That's the template. Therapists, like mothers, must learn to tolerate hate without acting it out. 6. Holding and environment. For psychotic patients, therapy is less about words and more about environment. The couch isn't just a couch. It's a lap, a womb, a sign of safety. Providing this steady, ordinary setting, sometimes for years, is love in action. Interpreting hate or naming it may come later, but only after long stretches of bearing the strain. Part 3. Why it matters. For therapists, we need deep personal work to recognize our own hate. Denial doesn't protect patients, it harms them. For caregivers, this paper validates the emotional toll of caring for severely ill people. Feeling hate or frustration doesn't make you broken, it makes you human. For psychoanalysis, Winnicott reframed countertransference from something pathological to something potentially powerful. For healing, sometimes patients can only believe in love after they've tested and survived hate. Boundaries, limits, and even no can be as therapeutic as empathy. For practice, patience, steadiness, and restraint, bearing the strain without retaliation, are often more healing than clever interpretations. Closing thought. Winnicott's essay asks us to stand in the messy middle, to own our hate without shame, to hold it without acting on it, and to let patients know, sometimes explicitly, that love and hate can coexist. That's where healing happens.